What's up, broadcasters? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Branding Banter, your promotional products podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, Director of National Accounts at Headwear USA.
And I'm Meg Gerber, the CXO over at the Bark and Bowie.
I'm Sarah Gashkarian Enrose, Senior VP of Sales at Market Fuel.
Awesome. I'm still getting my title.
I know. It's funny of like
Director of National Sales, not Director of National Accounts. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. National Accounts Manager is what I used to be. So, it's just.
So wait, what's your new title again?
Director of National Sales.
Okay, and it was National Accounts Manager?
Yeah, it was National Account Manager.
Okay.
So I would only cover certain national accounts. Now it's like all over the place.
Oh, yeah, you're traveling a lot.
Yeah, like 3 weeks out of the month.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big transition. So you haven't fully moved to your new house yet. I'm noticing your background.
No, but the house is pending.
Hey,
So, hopefully here in like 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have, a new home office set up and everything, but I still have to build it out. So, we'll see. Because I've got all kinds of time, Sarah.
Obviously.
So
with
much
you
of it.
Gone 3 weeks out of the month, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this house is mostly empty, though. I mean, we've moved most of the things. There are still some big things and a bunch of odds and ends, but it won't take long to move the stuff. I don't believe, maybe a day or two. But I've got to finish 3 other rooms in the farmhouse in order to be able to move the stuff. So I think I'm taking next week off. So I'm just gonna have to button down and get it done.
There you go. Well, if you're anything like me too, like when we move, like getting everybody else's rooms in like the main areas is priority number 1. So like all the kids' rooms, right? Like the living room area, like where people spend most of their time, even like our bedroom's not done yet. Like our office isn't done yet because there's priorities in other places.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Well, I don't know how far into the weeds you want to go, but I could talk about that for days. But so essentially we're the same way. Like the first thing that we got done was the bathroom, and then the kitchen, the dining room, and then the living room, and then the bedrooms, and then we moved in. So now the dining room is currently occupied with a bunch of tools and a whole bunch of other stuff, because that's kind of like the central part of where all my stuff is, so that I can get to different places. But just a couple of days ago over the weekend, we actually finished up the kids' classroom because my wife is homeschooling our children.
Right.
And so just finished that up. It was super cute. We've got some pictures. I don't know. But it's kind of cool. They've got their little desks and their laptops and all that. So
I love that, Jeff. I'm going to probably, because we're actually selling our house next spring, the one up in New Jersey. And we'll probably homeschool Addie for at least a year during the transition year. So I'll probably be reaching out to Eliana for advice and what program she's using and all the things. Because, some big changes coming up. And then next week when you're off, I'm actually getting a new puppy next week. So I don't know if you guys saw on my Facebook page, but
I did not. But you told me
cute little
while ago.
Yeah, what kind of dog I don't need a puppy. I do not need another puppy.
I think it's husky, right? Isn't it husky?
It's a miniature husky. So very quickly, this little guy came into my shop. His name's Loki. And he looked like a miniature husky, and he was almost full grown. And I picked him up and turned him over, and he let me hold him like a baby. And he had one blue eye, one black eye. And I was like, oh my God, I need this dog. And I became obsessed with it. And then I found a breeder an hour away. And then I tricked VJ into going with me. And then I just happened to have the deposit money in my pocket. So we get a dog next Tuesday.
Well, you've got the perfect setup for having that type of dog for sure. I mean, number one, you can work with you every day.
Yeah.
You can give him a bath every couple of days, because God knows you're going to need that with a husky.
But he'll be here. I'm so excited. So for our next time we record, after, you guys will get to see him. He's going to be so cute and squishy and little. I know. So I feel like there was something, just so much going on this week. And I'm just like, oh, well, I guess we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit in our podcast today, because we're going to be talking about promotional products. But Sarah, what's been going on with you? You're
my
in a
gosh.
different place today, or no? Are you
I
you're
am.
home?
I'm in Dallas. I'm up in Dallas. So we've got I know we're recording like ahead of time. So when you see this, we would have just had like our board retreat. And so is tomorrow. So I'm up here seeing a few customers today. And then tomorrow we'll have a board retreat. And then my son has got his first football game tomorrow night. So they had their scrimmage last week, first football game tomorrow night. So I'll be up there for that. So excited to watch him. So it's weird because it's not always Friday night lights up here in Texas. That's what happens when you've got a lot of big schools. And so it's Thursday night lights for us tomorrow. So he has some Friday games, but some of them are Thursdays.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can I just say I'm excited that like football is literally just around the corner. I
I
freaked
know.
out a little bit, Meg, because I know you and we both do fantasy football. Sarah, I don't know if you do fantasy or not, but we get into it, and I just
So
kept
into
putting
it.
it off and putting it off and putting it off. I'm like, oh my god, it's like in a week.
I know.
I
We're
kind of
having our
have to,
draft in like 3 days, and I haven't even done a single mock draft. I haven't done anything. And I was like, I
yeah.
need to ask Jeff if he's even doing it this year, because I'm like, we haven't even talked.
I know. My husband does it. I don't do it. Not that I wouldn't do it if somebody asked if I wanted to do it, but I don't do it. So
Well, I put the messages out there a couple days, well, yesterday I think it was, to the folks in my league, and so if anybody ducks out, Sarah, you'll be my first stop.
there you go.
We'll
You
get you
can
in.
add me into
That'd
it.
be fun.
It's mostly promo peeps, so it's fun.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, so 6 minutes into the podcast, we should probably talk about the topic for today, guys.
Okay.
I love the banter. It has been a minute, but we're going to talk about Promotional Products Works. This episode is going out on, what is it, the 29th? So Friday the 29th. So we are one day past Promotional Products Works Day. It used to be a whole week. Now I think it's just a day. But we are celebrating that on the 28th of August, which is tomorrow for us. Yesterday for you if you're listening. And but it's always very exciting to sort of see the stuff, because I know that's when a lot of the research and infographics and things like that come out, and PPI always does a really good job. One question that I have though is that since this thing is coming up like literally tomorrow for us, the Promotional Products Works website has not been updated or changed, which I thought was a little bit interesting. Maybe they don't have access to that anymore, or but either way, they do have the new kit out for Promotional Products Works. It's got all of obviously 2024's information, but we can share some of those things on here. But did you guys have a chance to take a look at the links and all that?
I did. I was looking, and I think the other thing too for people to note is that they also have some great social media pieces that are already put together. That's easy from a content perspective. You'll just throw it out there and drop it. So use those for sure if you haven't ever taken a peek at what is inside of the kit. So there are some social pieces to plug into, in addition to the data, which is also amazing. And I know that's what you were talking about, but I wanted to put the plug out there for the social media stuff. So
Yes.
I think it's really good. I think, as a distributor, you're constantly having to be on, right? Wear your sales hat, or wear all the hats if you're a business owner. But when you're talking about social media, a lot of the consumers are just tired of being sold to, right? It's just sales, like marketing, sale, sale, sale after everything. It's just constantly being shoved down your throat. When you take something like this and you can put it out to your base, you're educating them and you're talking to them about the why behind, like the why of what we're doing. And it really starts to help people understand, like, oh man, so 73% of end buyers, the people who are buying my stuff, purchase promotional products either on a monthly or quarterly basis. So you start getting to think about it, right? Or they're given something. Like I sell promotional products in my shop, right? I'm literally drinking out of promotional products. I think these numbers are like staggering, because the reason why I buy promotional products, right? I'm looking for brand loyalty. I'm trying to um, give people that return on emotion for when they visit my store and buy something for their pets, that they have something with our signature muddy paw print on it and the words Moosehead Lake, so that they remember their time here. And I think that's really important. I think that brand loyalty is just super important. And not that I have like this cult following yet or anything, or even that I'm trying for that, but I think when you can align something with a memory it brings that return on emotion back. And I think that's what promotional products are so good for. So in my use case, that's what I'm looking for, to give somebody something that they're going to take home and remember their trip at Moosehead Lake. I mean, I have people fawning over these Hydro Peak dog bowls. Like I didn't even think it was going to be like, when I put them up, people were coming in like, oh, I was waiting for the Navy to come back in. Oh, I saw the gingerbread. And I'm like, like
Oh,
it's
that's
my dream.
amazing. I love
It's my
it.
dream come true. It really is.
Well, you
So
guys
I'm
should
sure
do
that's not a cheap item either. I'm sure that's got to be
no.
really pricey.
$33 for a dog water bowl.
That's actually not that bad considering it's
It's
hydro.
not, and it's a brand name. It's like a Yeti, and it has. And what I did, instead of like throwing my logo on it, because again, nobody wants to wear or buy my logo. Maybe they do, but I took what resonates with people of Maine, and I took that old Maine flag. People love that nostalgic, and it's a pine tree with a blue star, and that's it. So I took the blue star and I put my blue muddy paw print instead. So you have that pine tree with the muddy paw print. And so people align that. And then I have Moosehead Lake under it. So I have that on a lot of things instead of just throwing the bark and buoy on it. Right. So I think if they're done right, it really capture that emotion of the event or the vacation or what. And I also bought things that I would, or, I'm selling things that I would buy if I was on vacation. So worst case, this doesn't work out, I've got some really cool shit.
I
So
think the other thing that you do, really well is community engagement. And I think that's big. And so that's also a way that you utilize your promotional products beyond just, like you said, having the logo on things. And so your tote bag is a great example of that you shared.
Yeah.
So it's good community involvement as well.
It
so
is.
That's
People,
really why people are like flocking to you as well, because you're also like out there.
yeah. And you and I, the three of us, would see this tote bag honestly and not think anything of it. Just another tote bag, right? We're a little jaded because we've seen all the tote bags. But first off, for the cost, this is, probably as much as I would pay on like a bunch of plastic bags that are going to get thrown away, maybe a little bit more, right? Because Bell Promo, I'm telling you, they have been such a hero and a partner of mine. Like no reorder setup charges. So when I go to reorder these bags, like it's pennies to pay for these, and I'm giving them away. So people, they come in with their so proud with their bag to get their treat, for their dogs. It's just that brand loyalty. They come back and they reuse their bag. So I don't know. Promotional products work, man. I'm seeing it from an end user and an end buyer perspective.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Yeah, we're jaded because we see that stuff all the time. But at the same time, when you go into a retail store, you're not exactly getting that kind of bag unless you're at like a really high end kind of place. You know what I mean?
And we know
So
where to go to get the good stuff.
exactly.
So not the regular old non-woven polypropylene giveaway tote, spend a little bit more, just a little bit more, and you see the difference. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm walking the walk that I've been talking for so long, and it's actually, it's real. It's real. So I don't know. I'm kind of corny when it comes to promotional products, and I talk about it all the time, but they work.
So, did anything stand out in the end user or understanding the end buyer consumer survey or the ad map that I haven't pulled up yet?
I mean, I like the sustainability aspect of things when people are embracing that, because it's the first thing that I say when I give one of these tote bags away. I said, I'm really into sustainability. I'll talk about it's recycled cotton. I said, but that's not the point of why I'm giving it to you. I'm giving this to you because I know you're going to reuse it and keep the trash out of the lake and out of the landfill. And people are like, oh my gosh, I want a bag. And, so.
Do you know one of the things that I read on here speaking of your sustainability, is that how like in LAX that they were going to ban the use of like selling plastic water bottles. And so having like a water bottle to travel with you to refill. And it's funny, like when I think about it, I'm so bad despite being in this industry. I always have like a plastic water bottle near me. For me, it like helps me measure how much water that I'm going to drink because it's a liter. So anybody out there, if you got a liter bottle and you want me to utilize it, then I'll try it out for everybody. But it's just, I think it's convenience for me. But when I get to the airport, the first thing I do is I find like my Hudson's. I always know which one I'm going to go to. It's got the liter size bottle. I always buy it. And then I've always got it in my bag. So I think it's interesting when you talk about sustainability of just how much more it is getting embraced by the end buyers as well. So those products are really, I think it's taken a while. I remember my logo mark days of even us when we started coming out with like wheat straw and some of the other products that we've started to talk about. Like I think it's great to see that finally after like 6 years, 7 years, like the trends are starting to really be noticed, is what I would say, by the end buyers.
So
Yeah.
go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Yeah, one
Sorry.
of the things that I'm, noticing about this particular screen that we've got up is the in the product selection side, what influences buyers' choices.
Same.
Number one is 85% is quality,
Quality.
but then 78% is price, which is what I love about our industry. And I hate the push that we've made so much into brand, so to speak. I know that, scratches the itch of the quality side of things most of the time because you associate particular brands with quality. Like maybe we were just talking about Hydro Flask.
Yeah.
That's a great quality
Hydro
product,
Peak.
quality
Hydro
brand.
Peak.
Hydro Peak, yes. So that's a great quality product and brand. So of course you're going to, it's going to resonate with the quality side of things. But price is very important. And that's the thing that I like about our industry is that we have a lot of comparable products out there for the retail high quality stuff that is very price driven or price focused.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why Hit Promotional Products does so well. I mean, we've had CJ on when we talked about the Stanleys, and he said it's all price driven. We don't have the Stanley. We've got this one that's it's comparable. It's the same thing, just doesn't have the Stanley word mark on it. So
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
The one thing I'm a little shocked about when it says what influences buyer choices, the only thing that I'm surprised about on that is supplier reliability. I think that's more on the distributor side. I don't think the end user cares. I don't think the end user cares where this came from versus where this came from versus where this came from. You know what I mean? I don't think they care. But I personally, I've bought these from Bell Promo because I know that they're a good supplier. They've been reliable. Michelle DeMaio, like when I tell you, she has been an absolute game-changing lifesaver angel to get the stuff that I need for this big event. Like texting me and approving proofs for me over the weekend. So when it comes to supplier reliability, that comes more on the distributor, I think, but not really on the end user. So when it comes to the buyer choices, who is that really referring to? That's all.
Yeah. So if you jump in a time machine real quick and go back to before you got into the promotional products industry,
I know.
Could you name 5 distributors, let alone a supplier? I mean,
No.
I think Bic and Leeds were like the only 2 that I had heard of prior to getting in the industry, and then when I got in the industry, I just understood it more. But that's only because they sell on the retail side of things as well. You get your Bic
exactly.
bars, Stick Clicks, and yeah.
So yeah. So is that when they're talking about the buyer, are they talking about the end buyer or are they talking about the distributor buyer? That's my question because I'm that's why I think that could be off based off of who the buyer is. That's all. But that's just my
I
little
mean, it says
weird
buyer, so I'm
caveat.
assuming in buyer, and this is at the top of the thing. It's actually it says in buyers.
And buyers, yeah.
So
That's
my
all.
assumption is that we're talking in buyers here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really cool. I think that's a really good consumer study. I think it gives you a lot of information. Was there one that had like products and stuff on it? That talking about the best products that we were. I feel like
I
there
also
was
think
one.
it's interesting, and I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Meg, you're so jaded whenever it comes to like your knowledge of promotional products, obviously from being in the industry. So I think a lot of people, when they have a store like you do that might sell some of the items, they don't realize a lot of those products are promotional products. From an end buyer perspective, they don't call them that. That's not really the words that they use for it.
You're right.
They call it like their merch or whatever that they get. And then a lot of times they're buying it from somebody who then is buying it from distributor because that lack of knowledge that they have there. So it's really, really interesting sometimes whenever you start to have conversations with people about where they get their products from. I had this recently with my husband's job. And so like for them to come to me to order their stuff, and the guy, who orders it right now was like, no, I've got this guy who like, he gets it done from somebody else. And I was like, so you're paying more for the items than what you should be paying for the items because you're basically like paying a third party. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Whenever.
No, trust me, I get it. I 100% get it. But yeah, so
I also
what
wanted
about
to
the
throw.
advertising channels? Yeah, this is really
Yeah,
cool. So let's talk
This
about
is
this real
cool.
quick.
I definitely wanted to throw this up there because I'm surprised to see that promotional products are so far back in sales volume, considering. I mean, obviously, it's a lot. We consider, the 26 billion or 27 billion annually that we do to be a lot, and it is. But when you look at some of the other channels for marketing, it's amazing how much more money there is to make up, and we should be growing so much faster than what we are as an industry. Um, I mean, it's good to see that broadcast or traditional broadcast TV advertising and stuff like that is going down. And as you can see, that's the only avenue that is going down. Everything else is trending upwards. But the thing that surprised me the most here is mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Why the
I would say
hell is that something that somebody's recalling? They're recalling it because they can't stand it.
You know what it is? I think because I get so much spam that I just block. I mean, everything to me, I'm shocked that people are even doing it. But what I think the mobile sales are coming from is that when I am online shopping, if
Yeah.
I put stuff in my cart and then I'm like, I'm going to close out of this, I immediately am getting 20% discounts, $20 coupons, yada, yada, yada.
That's
That's when I
online.
then go back and click in, but it's clicking it from my mobile phone to get that discount. So I don't know if
Yes.
that's it or not.
Well, the other thing that they're doing too is that you're not only signing up your name, like from an email address perspective, but then you get the coupon whenever you sign up for the mobile text message
Mm-hmm.
to your phone.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where they're getting it also. So
Yeah, I think so too. So
but it
very
is,
interesting stuff.
I think it
But
is interesting that promo, to me, that number, like I feel like we've been at 26.78 for a long time.
I
Like we've been
know.
in that $26 billion space for a really, really long time. I'm hoping though, and this is where I'm looking forward to some of the PPAI collaborations with other associations like the marketing associations and whatnot, because I feel like in some ways, like we were talking about from an end buyer perspective, they're not categorizing some of those products that are being utilized as promotional products right now. I don't know where that falls from a category perspective, but I feel like it's not falling into that bucket. And I feel like if there's alignment with other associations, that number could potentially grow just based upon recategorization of the items.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not incredibly surprised by the number. I mean, you got to remember the last like 5 years have been crazy for this
Yes.
industry. I mean,
Sure.
from 2018 to 2019, I think there was a pretty substantial growth pattern. And then obviously COVID hit, and that kind of set us back for 2 to 3 years where, I was happy that we didn't drop off further than what we did. I mean, we really, jumped on it with PPE and everything. So, and I know people just had like flashbacks and like PTSD from hearing PPE. So I apologize for that. But then, over the last year or two, we've started to again trend upward. I really hope, of course, now with tariffs, people were, for a lot of suppliers, they're getting similar sales, but volume of orders is down, in my opinion. And that has to do, I think, with the tariffs and things like that. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that closing as we wrap up?
No, I think from an industry perspective, I heard rumors. I think we're like 2 to 3% down is really what the distributors are reporting, but then suppliers are reporting higher percentage of being down, like 7 to 8%. And I think a lot of that has to do with distributors starting to go direct overseas. And so that's why their sales haven't decreased as much. But suppliers are feeling that. So that's my only thing there that I'm going to add.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Work with your supplier partners. Don't take the risk unless you have that relationship and you've been doing it for 20 years.
For sure.
Just use your supplier partners. I wouldn't. As much as I know and been doing this for 20 some years, I still wouldn't go direct on my. I'm scared. I'm just a girl.
I honestly, I don't
like we're scared. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I think some of those numbers are probably through Q2, right, Sarah? So my assumption is that that's probably has to do with the tariff situation that we were dealing with around the beginning of Q2, and people just putting a pause on things. So I think now that there's been a little bit more of a balance over the last couple of months, that'll start to trend upward. I mean, I know me personally, just absolutely through the roof as far as busy and projects and orders actually coming through as well. So, I mean, we're certainly trending upwards. So hopefully that's happening across the board as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So happy Promotional Products Work Day. Go use those infographics, download them from ppai.com or I'm sorry, .org in their media section. You can search Promotional Products Work. Maybe we'll put the link down in the video as well. Hopefully, maybe one of us will be wise enough to do that. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll be seeing you.